So I thought it would be a fun idea to post some tier list videos without the use of a full script, which is something I definitely mentioned in the aforementioned tier list videos. And to no one's surprise, I kept getting some common disagreements. Which is totally fine, that is until I get little children taking this game a bit too seriously. Given that reality, I decided to do a deeper dive on the Axeman trait, as I personally don't view it to be S tier. As a matter of fact, I've always viewed it to be an overrated one-trick pony used by Zomboid players that have the slow learner trait equipped in real life. And I actually don't say that lightly, as the Axeman fanbase tends to be a bit rabid when you don't place their trait in S tier. Now, if they were more chill about it, I wouldn't be mocking them in this video. Regardless of that fact, I thought to myself, what if I'm actually wrong here? What if this trait, which can only be obtained by the lumberjack occupation, is actually S tier? What if it's the best shit since sliced bread? Are these people truly onto something? Well, I decided to run some basic tests in order to answer these questions. Now, the first thing I did was download the More Descriptions mod, which supposedly gives us more accurate information about traits and other shit in Project Zomboid. And according to this mod, the Axeman trait doesn't give you 25% faster axe swing on Zeds, but rather that bonus is only applied to trees. The bonus against the undead is actually a 5% speed buff. But is this actually accurate? I've seen people mention this online and I've always taken it at face value. Well, I think it's time to change that. I loaded up a new sandbox world via debug mode and I set up a survivor with no traits and default stats, meaning that everything is set to 0 except for strength and fitness, both of which are always defaulted to level 5. I then recorded the default survivor swinging an axe for 1 minute. I then reset the character's stamina and added the Axeman trait by itself. Now here is a comparison between the Axeman and a default survivor. The total in 1 minute is 60 swings for the Axeman and 53 for the default survivor. That's a 13.21% difference in favor of the Axeman. So for every 100 swings, you could say that you'll get an extra 13 swings from the Axeman. In conclusion, I'd say that the mod is wrong, and so is the in-game description. This ain't no 25% increase, nor is it only 5%. Now, perhaps these figures are a result of the fact that I started both survivors at default stats in fitness and strength. Who knows and who cares? The real question here is whether or not this difference makes the Axeman an S tier trait. And to be honest with all of you, I don't see it. To see a truly noticeable and notable difference, you have to be swinging non-stop for more than 30 seconds. Now, this might come in clutch from time to time, especially with sprinters, but it definitely ain't S tier. It is exactly as I have described it in the past, a one-trick pony. And since the Axeman trait does not improve attack damage, nor does it reduce stamina drain, it stands to say that the Axeman will likely get tired faster than the default survivor. That trade-off makes me want to not consider this trait as S tier, but rather, it can stay in A tier. Because it doesn't fundamentally break the game. No axe, no benefit, and if you're not fighting a massive horde, which would be dumb to do with only melee weapons by the way, then you won't really experience the benefit of this trait either. Just because this trait can save your ass from time to time does not make it S tier. It's a good trick, don't get me wrong, but it ain't the GOAT. That being said, if you like it, go ahead and play with it. Fuck the meta. Zomboid is ultimately a game about having fun with your own survivor's story. Take myself as an example. I rarely, if ever, play with meta builds unless I'm trying to complete a challenge. When I play Zomboid, I prefer to make characters with a story behind them. Anyways, with that said, I hope you enjoyed this brief video. If you want to see more like it, support the channel by liking, sharing, and, most of all, subscribing. Also, don't forget to smash that notification icon so that you may be notified when I publish a new video. Lastly, remember to leave me a comment in the comment section. I do read them on my free time. Be that as it may, I am Captain Gold, and I hope to see you in my next video.